there's things that get cherry picked when we talk about things on the show. People take things out of context and they go, look what he said, right? That happens to all streamers. It's just part of the business, right? It is what it is. Asmongold is not one of those guys who gets taken out of context ever. I think we all understand that. Everything he says is put out there in full context. It never gets taken out of context. Listen, we all just kidding. But Asmongold is in some hot water again. after this here, Asmongold compares the belief. Well, I'll just let him say it here, and then we'll kind of see the Twitter thread that happened because of this.
No, the transgender ideology stuff is not a mountain out of a molehill. It's basically a molehill that people are just fixated on. I know that it's a very small issue, but I would view it in the same way as I view flat Earth. The reality is that if I knew somebody believed in flat Earth, that would completely disqualify them in my mind from being a decision maker for anything else, because their decision-making faculties have been compromised. And
Blabs, your thoughts on what Asmongold's saying right here?
He's not really wrong, is he?
Okay. Cecil, Eric, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it makes
you
sense.
bigots. Sorry.
Is this out of context?
God damn it.
I think what he's saying is perfectly in context. I was just kidding about the whole out of context thing. Let's let's go to continue.
And I think transgender is another good example of that, especially whenever it comes to minors and it comes to sports. What it really is it's a benchmark of this person is this delusional that they think this thing that is so far removed from reality that it provides a frame of reference that this person cannot be allowed to operate and be expected to operate as a rational actor. It's illogical. It's completely illogical. That's the reason why the transgender issue matters so much. It's like people who believe the Earth is 6,000 years old, or people that believe it's flat, or people that believe that there's like lizards living in the center of the Earth and they're the ones controlling everybody here. Like, these ideals are just
that's it, huh?
Yeah, when he's bad mouthing the lizard people, that's what I'm like. All right, now he's going.
You had me until the reptilians came in here, Asmongold. God damn it. We'll continue.
So batshit crazy stupid that they provide a frame of reference that disqualifies that type of a person from having the opinion on anything else.
Or every American.
I think that's the interesting thing about this is, like, people go, why does it only affects such a small percentage of people? It's like, no, but for me personally, when you are dealing with basic facts, right? If I was to look at this right here and be like, well, this is blue, and be like, and everyone's like, no, that's yellow. And I'm like, no, this is blue. Don't you understand? Right? It's a basic fact, right? It is a common consensus that everybody else in the entire world sees this as yellow, but I see this as blue. Then there's something wrong with my thought process. There's something like, if I'm going around telling everybody this is blue, are you going to think that if I tell you that I'm a girl, that's accurate, right? There's a baseline here that we all agree on. Everybody agrees on, except for a tiny. So it comes down to basic facts, and I think that's what Asmongold is trying to say here: is that if we can't agree on a basic fact about things, how are you going to be credible in any other thought process here?
Didn't they try? Like, this is the same group that tried to do 2 + 2 is 5.
Yes,
and it's like, wait, no. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I do, because they're trying to undermine basic fundamentals, basic facts, that it's getting out of hand.
Eric, you got anything on this?
When they say it doesn't really affect people, I think of the sports argument. When you have dudes playing girls' sports and you have a girl that's been playing that sport her whole life, she's in her senior year of high school, she's made it to state, and her state is ruined because this guy's pitching for 9 or 7 innings of softball because they can't hit him. That affects every single girl in that state.
I would say you don't even have to make it to state. You just have to make it on the team.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying every girl that ever competed in that state, in that sport, that year. It affects every one of them.
Yes, exactly. Because
That's
that
thousands.
boy, yes, and you're speaking of a real life situation where a boy won a state title pitching as a girl in a softball tournament, and yes, they nobody could hit the boy because guess what? He throws harder than the girls. Congratulations, right? Yeah, you're right. It's not just the girls in that game that are affected. It's every other girl that played throughout the entire year that's affected. It's the girl who didn't make the team that was affected, right? It's a giant trickle down effect. It's a mess. Let's go to continue here because he's not done.
In this country. If not for the injunctions case, we would be here talking about another great decision that came down today.
It's an
the
indication of broken
case,
logic.
which
Yes.
restores parents' rights to decide their child's education. Seems like a basic idea, but it took the Supreme Court to set the record straight, and we thank them for that. And now that ruling allows parents to opt out of dangerous trans ideology and make the decisions for their children that they believe is correct. And so we think
they should not be teaching transgenderism in anything other than maybe the last year of high school. Children should not be getting exposed to transgender ideology.
All right. So that's where people took, or one person took offense to this. Now listen, Blabs, this person may look familiar to you. Does this handle look familiar to you at all?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Unfortunate. It has to do with Kirsha.
That's right. This person went after Kirsha here. Said, be Asmongold. Be here. It always comes back to, you're dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I'm smart. You're dumb. Be Asmongold. Be uneducated. Wake up to a rotting carcass. Spread harmful rhetoric about marginalized groups in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Cause irreversible harm because people take his BS at face value, get paid millions. This is why trans people lose all.
Ironically, you could just swap the name Asmongold and Nyara, and then it would actually make sense.
What is the? I don't get the wake up to a rotting carcass.
So this is a reference to, I guess his mom had some issues, and he was playing games while she was having some health issues, right? I don't know the whole backstory around that, but Asmongold did respond to this and promptly ratioed the fuck out of this person. Says, if you want to play a fun drinking game, search that, trans kids, and take a drink every time you get a new tweet. You'll have alcohol poisoning in 30 seconds. Your fixation on trans kids has caused more damage to the transgender movement than I ever have or ever will. And by the way, this was not good because this person was like, no. This is not actually here. This is right below. It says, trans kids exist. I was one. We are not being groomed into this. We are not confused. Insisting that a trans girl is a boy or vice versa is abuse. To imply that stating the fact is, quote, causing damage to a transgender movement when you don't want us to exist is insane over here. So, there was more here, as this person says. I think it's wild that the context literally doesn't matter, and saying factual information about trans topics is the post-truth society.
So we're past truth.
Yes, we moved past it.
That's what that means.
It's twisted into a fuel for harassment campaign. Trans kids exist. I was one. Stop making trans people miserable by spreading Nazi rhetoric. There it is right there. Asmongold continues to just totally ratio this person into the ground with basic logic here. But this brings me back to this here, where I think we've seen the rise and I think ultimately the fall of this movement. We saw this chart get released the last couple of days as the people who are identifying as trans or just not male or female has started to plummet. And Blabs, did you see this right here?
No, actually, I haven't seen this.
So this is a chart, share of students not identifying as male or female right here. You can see in 2019, then 2020 hit, COVID hits, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 we're in peak insanity. In 2023, 9% of students
Damn.
didn't identify as male or female here. 9%.
And now it's going back down.
And now it's dropping back down.
Well, that's good at least.
Yes. Now, what's interesting about this is this right here, right? If you're gay, that line was pretty consistent. Everything else on this was the one thing that changed was the trans stuff. So gay people still like that number was pretty consistent the entire time. But the trans thing, which tells you that this 100% has been a trend. It's a social contagion, like people talked about. And that's the thing that nobody is going to talk about, because you had people that caught on to a trend and ultimately made horrible decisions that altered their body, their life, their chemical makeup that they're going to have to live with for the rest of their life. This is not some barbed wire tattoo on your arm that you got in 2001, right? This is a life-altering decision that people are going to have to reckon with for the rest of their life. And it is seeped into all forms of culture. It's seeped into gaming and entertainment, all this stuff. Do you think that we'll ever get back to a point, like, are we going to look back on this 5 years of like 2019 to 2024, and it's just going to be this black mark on history where people are like, what the fuck happened there?
I hope so. Like, my biggest thing is when you are an adult, if you then want to transition and all that, I'm not going to stand in your way. Go right ahead. And I will not mock you for it. That's your decision. But I have a problem when it is kids. And I have a problem when, as Dave Chappelle had said, when, I forget the exact quote, but it's like, how much of your delusion do I have to share in? Like, I will be respectful toward you and all this, but if you're doing the it's ma'am and all,
Right,
then I'm going to treat you like a fool because you're acting like one. I really hope that people see that, is there a percentage of the population that is whatever their gender is?
Mm-hmm.
Probably, but to kind of hoist that on children, and when you've got Megan Fox, who had 3 boys that are all now girls, like, it's statistically impossible. That is a mentally ill mother who is if this was maybe 20 years ago, Child Protective Services would be looking at
Yes, 100%. And goes back to the guise of acceptance, right?
Yeah.
Eric?
To answer your question, I think it depends on how this next election goes. Right? If it swings back again, let's say to like a more Biden, Kamala Harris-esque administration, I feel like it's not going to go back to normal and all that stuff. And it might go back to how it was a couple years ago. Yeah. But if it's more like relatively sane people who just want to be left alone and this bullshit, then I think we'll be okay. Yeah.
Eric, your thoughts?
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh.
Are you playing Battlefield?
No, I'm the Rabble Wrangler. I don't know who it is. But yeah.
Legit question. Are you playing Battlefield?
No, I'm not playing Battlefield right now.
Because if so, that'd be fucking awesome. Just saying.
He's playing Minecraft instead.
He's not playing because he's
getting ready
right
to play
now.
Battlefield now.
Okay.
I'm thinking about all the dirt napping and head popping I'm going to be doing in a couple minutes.
I'm thinking about it. There you go. That's great. All right. Hey,
Craig, a quick thing.
Yes, sir.
I have I have a friend of mine who has a son. He's 18. He just went into college, and she is really liberal, and she is infuriated because her son is incredibly conservative.
Okay.
And all of his friends are conservative, and they are they're exercising, they're into a lot of like male centric stuff, and she just can't like. But the thing is, he is a really really good kid. Great great grades. He's smart. He's in good shape. He he hasn't knocked anybody up, and so she can't really get on him about anything. But it is infuriating her because the fact that he is not feeding into the liberal ideology. Like, she has a friend who has a trans kid and all that, and she sees that as not a problem. But her son, that's like on, is eating, lots of ground beef and eggs, and likes chasing, women, and playing sports and stuff, and kind of, has a little bit of like leaning towards going to church, like that. Oh my God, that's horrible.
Right. Oh my God. Well, give it 6 months, and now he'll change. He's going to college, so.
Well, he is going to go, but I think he's got a good head on his shoulders, and all of his friends are all like, for lack of a better thing, they're all dude bros, but like they're the good dude bros. They're all just, chest bumping,
Right.
and they're gonna go like they're like, we were 20 years ago, and maybe 30 years ago. But I think that he's a smart enough kid, and because he's confided in me about a lot. He's like, oh, it's like some of the shit my mom's in. What the fuck,
Right.
So I think he's smart enough. And the thing is, after what happened with Charlie Kirk, a lot of kids are now seeing, oh, wait a minute, is this, the ideology that's kind of being pushed, are we the baddies? And it's pushed a lot of more people over towards the right. And I think that seeing him and seeing his friends and seeing the way that they are, I do think that we are heading in a we're kind of starting to lean more towards there. So I'm hoping that the next election does not go back to Gavin Newsom or something. Holy, we're done. If Newsom is elected.
Join the normal men. Hit that subscribe button right here and watch another video right here.